Yo, what's going on? It's D-Man. I'm bringing to you some good EA Sports UFC 3 news, gameplay changes from the beta that will be available in the retail version of EA Sports UFC 3 via update. Now, they changed or tweaked a bunch of things. I believe it was over 70 plus things, but I will not go over everything. If you want to read everything and see everything, go ahead and hit the link in the description below and you can check up on it. But in this video, I mainly want to focus on gameplay. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm pretty sure you all already started reading a few things. Slow down combo speed and locomotion speed based on stamina. And that was something I know Marshall was talking about. And something that needed to be in EA Sports UFC 3. So let me break this down really quick. Like I said, you can go to the website and watch the video. I believe I posted it on my channel already. If you have a low amount of stamina, your combos will slow down, your guard will be lower, and also your movement will be more lethargic. And that's something that we did not have in the beta, but something we needed. We have fatigue lunges that were added, visual improvements to falls and get-ups. A lot of people were complaining about that. They got mad that people were falling the same way and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes when the game is released. We have the Superman elbow added into the game. That's going to be sick. Shout out to Angela Hill for mocapping that. Reduce overhand vulnerability and adjust it to start later in the animation. That's going to be interesting. I've caught a few people throwing out that overhand, but I think the overhand is something I want to get away from already in UFC 3, unless I'm really trying to knock somebody out. So we'll see how that goes. Add missing McGregor taunts. You know, if you have McGregor, people will be taunting. Added all missing feints. Added more jab straight animation variety. The jab straight is going to be so popular in UFC 3, I can tell already. Maybe early on in the cycle, but once people learn to counter it, I don't see people doing it a lot. But I know some people do have, like people like Nate Diaz. He has exclusive jab straight animations, and so I can't wait to see the variety that they added. Add an extra range to the Superman punch. I feel like this is actually needed. I know on the UFC 3 beta, the Superman punch, you did not go anywhere. It wasn't even a Superman punch like that. So I'm glad that they added range to that. Make it so side kicks to the head can be evaded with movement. Movement is very important on UFC 3. Have to be able to dodge those attacks. Add the ability to strike quickly at a switch stance. I like that a lot. I tried it a few times on the UFC 3 beta. I thought I was just really bad at it, but it did not come out often. But you see people do this. I mean, we saw Conor do it in the Floyd Mayweather fight. I know when people get this down, it's going to be clean, bro. It's going to be clean. So I can't wait to see people get nice with switching and striking like that. Fixed bud that prevented blocking during a feint animation. I'm glad that got fixed because that sounds like some cheese. I bet people were abusing that and I did not even know it. Remove the restriction that only the first kick in a combo can be caught. I did not know that was a thing. But I'm glad that the restriction was removed. So now I could just be out there catching, punching, rocking people. Unless I'm getting rocked. You know, it is what it is. Let's move on. Tune the judges' scoring logic. And this is going to be tough because on UFC 2, I feel like the scoring logic was a little bit off. So I want to know how it works on UFC 3. We'll just have to see. I definitely won a match on stream that a lot of people felt like I lost. But it was my fight, and of course, I'm going to be a little bit biased, so I feel like I won. But apparently, I lost the fight, and I actually ended up winning. So we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully, it's better than UFC 2. Make standing takedown slams deal damage to only the body. This is good. I mean, a lot of people are cheesing the KO slams in the beta because it did so much head damage. Even when they reduced it, it still did a lot of head damage. So I guess they switched it up, said, you know what, only to the body so people can stop getting knocked out by those slams. But hopefully the suplex, the high suplex from back clinch is still the same. Increase long-term block breakdown. That's gonna kill me, man. Oh man. I wonder how it works. Because I do know I block a lot. I need to get some head movement going, but people might just keep pushing and just throwing strikes at your block. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. It might be a struggle for me personally because I struggle standing up. I'm more of a grapple person. If I say something is concerning, I say concerning for me, not necessarily the game, just for me. Make it so Caps can use base fighter custom animations and features. Cool, because you know I'll be on those creative fighters. Fix buds that cause damage spikes in the first 10 seconds of a round. I experienced this so many times, especially with the leg kicks. So I'm glad that it's out of the game. Fits several sliding and warping issues while striking. A lot of people talk about this till this day. In my comment section on my last video, I was just talking to a guy about this issue. So I'm glad the sliding is better, and of course I saw some warping too, like instant transmission type of stuff. So I'm glad that's out. Tune impact of perks on gameplay. That's something I need the full game to really talk about because we did not see all the perks. But I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I know last year there were a couple perks that just ran the game. Like if you had a high game changer or high heavy hands, you were Gucci. So we'll see what happens. Tune block and miss frames for strikes out of slips. Okay. Fits several bad animation transition on several hit reactions. Fits bugs where fighters would get stuck mid takedown. Oh, I'm glad that did not happen to me. That sounds annoying. Move some combos into lower combo packages. Now, if you don't know, UFC 3 does have combo packages. You can be like a level 4 boxer or a level 3 boxer, and that determines which combo you will be able to throw. And I like that because it's a bunch of diversity in the game. People can't do the same thing in UFC 3. So they switched around the combos a little bit. That should be interesting. Fits the input Q bug during hit reactions. I'll go through that too every fight. Or maybe I'm just bad. We'll see. But I'm getting used to the queuing up. Finally, it took me a minute on UFC 2, but on UFC 3, I got it. You know, it took me about 5 matches. So we'll see what happens with that. Fixed input bug that delays strikes out of a sustained lean in some cases. I went through this with Eddie Alvarez. And I thought, like I said, I thought it was just me. I thought I was just tripping. Apparently I wasn't. Fixed several broken combos. I want to know what those combos were. Fixed bugs preventing diving punches when the opponent is knocked down. Of course, I went through that too. Man, this list is making me realize something. Like, okay, I need to work on UFC 3, but I wasn't as bad as I thought. It was like actual issues. I have to speak up more. But I'm a filthy casual when it comes to this game, so I'm never really sure. Only count block strikes as landed when bleed through is greater than 25%. And now we're getting into the core of the gameplay with frames and everything. So if you're not too sure what I'm talking about, don't even worry about it, man. Sometimes I'm not too sure what I'm talking about. So let's get into it. Ensure the reach penalty as applied to strike speed gives at least a 2-frame advantage. And frames are everything in UFC 3. Like I said, you are really vulnerable in UFC 3. Timing is everything. Make Imanari roll take longer to initiate so it's more deniable, and it will also be a 4-stage submission instead of the 2-stage. People hated me for going for this roll with Tony Ferguson. I mean, personally, I feel like the deny window was big enough, but it did not need to be a 2-stage submission. I'm glad that it's a 4-stage submission, so we'll see what happens with those T-Ferg users. Me being me, I'm still going for it. Fits mirroring bug related to stopping power and movement. Turn off strike IK targeting when hand on floor and active KD for head strikes. See, that's what I'm talking about. IK, KD, the only KD I know is Kevin Durant. Let me chill, man. I just be talking. Reduce the number of evasion frames on the tail end of a forward slip. And the forward slip on UFC 3, or the beta at least, it was pretty tricky. Now, I did use it to counter the jab straight. I would forward slip and then uppercut. So if the forward slip is more effective, I'm not hating on that. I like that. Clear evasion state when canceling a strike. Tune combos so no combo has contact frames shorter than 12. Tune safe frames on block up by 4, making slipping off a block strike more viable. So like I said, they're really focused on letting you be able to move, letting you be able to counter, and making your opponent feel vulnerable. It's all about the timing in UFC 3, or at least that's what I'm getting from this list. Like I said, I'm no programmer. I just play these games for fun, but that's what I'm getting from this list. Fits bug where advanced lunges could get stuck on cage. I'm glad I never experienced that. Fits evasion against the cage when mirrored. Tune catch, kick, break animations to look more athletic. Increase the impact of the switch stance rating. Disable combos during a liver health event. I really did not see that many liver events, to be honest, but maybe there'll be more when the game comes out. I know on UFC 2, I feel like there were too many liver health events or body events, so we'll see how it plays on UFC 3. Add post-KO reaction animations. That is something people are talking about because they just do not like the way the KOs look, or how people react to the KO, or how the referee comes out of nowhere for the KO. People are making KOs a big deal on UFC 3. Then again, they're a big deal in the UFC. So we'll see how that goes when the game is released. So here is something people are looking forward to. A lot of people are asking me if Justin is in the game. He is in the game, and they added his signature block as well as his strike animations. Now, how do you do the signature block? You hold R1 and R2, and he'll block the side of his head. So you'll take no damage from round strikes, but you'll take full damage on straight. So you might want to watch out for that one. Now we're at the bottom of the list for gameplay. Reduce leg and body vulnerability while taunting. I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like if you're taunting, never mind. I don't know. I just have something against people that taunt. That's all it is. But if you're taunting, I don't know. I feel like you should be very vulnerable, but it is what it is. Fits crazy leg perk, and they also added rear leg hit reactions. I like that. Remove stamina cost on leg checks. I like that. Make it so leg knockdowns do not put you in finish the fight position. And I like that too, man. It's funny because it did not make sense to me in the UFC 3 beta, but you could check somebody's leg kick or rock them via a leg kick and knock them down and just finish them through head strikes. So, I mean, it was weird, so I'm glad that they adjusted that. So now let's talk about the ground and clinch, and this will be the last thing I'll talk about because this video is pretty long. Make finish the fight moment more survivable from strikes. And this is something that I was talking about when the beta was out. I felt like there was no surviving going on. I think from my gameplay and watching people like MMA game, I've only seen one person recover from a TKO and that TKO animation. So I'm glad that that was adjusted. Tune transition speeds and single collar and over under. I guess once I read that, they were kind of slow. Added new clinch entry into cage, over under animations. Submission gate speed tuning, including a better emphasis on stamina. That is something a lot of people wanted. And of course, I wanted that too, especially the emphasis on stamina part. That's my whole thing when it comes to tapping people out. So I'm glad that was adjusted. Improved visuals on the side control KO animation. We'll see what that's looking like when the game comes out. Better integration of ground arm damage with stand-up long-term block breakdown. Okay, that's getting pretty deep right there. I need that too, because let's say you break down a block, take somebody to the ground, go to full mount, and they're still trying to block. You know, they should be out of there. And finally, Diaz fingers tuned to west side and signature triangle submission. See, now I have to go for it. I have to go for it. I'm gonna be doing that all day, man. So those are some of the gameplay changes. Like I said, if you want to read everything, hit the link in the description below. They have over 70 things you can read, and they also have videos. They talk about AI and all that type of stuff, but I just went over mainly the frames, the stand up, in the ground, and the clinch. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Does this change your mind about UFC 3? Because I know it's either hate it or love it. No in between, man. You either hate it or you love it, but it is what it is. So thank you all for watching this whole video. You all take care. Peace.